Hello, and welcome. In part 2 of our 3-part video series for Merchant Capture, we will be going through each step of scanning your deposit, troubleshooting any errors that may occur, and closing the transaction for deposit. Let's get started with part 2 of our Merchant Capture videos. In part 1 of our Merchant Capture videos, we took you through each step of creating your own deposit ticket for your deposit. Now we will go through the process of scanning each check, verifying the information, and making sure that there are no errors. Once we have completed those items, we then can move forward with closing our transaction and submitting it for processing. To begin, be sure that your scanner is hooked up properly to your computer, the power is on, you have a blinking blue light, and that the scanner is free and clear of any debris or dust. This will ensure that you have a clear scan of each check as is processed. Also be sure that the endorsement ink cartridge is in the unit. If you scan checks without this endorsement ink cartridge, you will get an error and will be unable to process your transaction. Updating your ink cartridge, as they do dry out from time to time, is recommended. Now that you've checked your scanner and you verified that it's ready to be used, let's press the scan button and scan your checks. Before scanning your checks, make sure they are placed properly into the scanner. The endorsement side should be facing inward towards the scanner, with the face of the check facing outwards. On the right-hand side of the scanner, there is a line that shows you how far you can place your checks into the scanner. Now let's press scan. Once you press scan, a message will pop up on your screen showing you the status of your scanner. Your checks may take a moment to initiate into the scanner before being scanned. Once they have scanned, on your Capture Deposit dashboard, under Images, you will see the checks that you've just completed scanning. To the right of the image of your check, there are a number of menu items that you can choose from so you can view your check better. You can open it within another window. This enlarges the check so you can view it better. You also have the ability to flip the check onto its back so you can see the endorsement. You can rotate the check left or right. You can zoom in or zoom out on the check, and you can also delete it. Finally, you can rescan a check if it's illegible or not clear. You will need to place the check back into your scanner and rescan the check. Below the image of your check, you will see that there is a status bar along with the number of documents, the document name, and the amount. You will see that the deposit slip that we created earlier is our first item. Below that are our scanned checks. The status of each item is listed to the left. If you have a clear check, it will show a success. Under status, if there are any errors, it will be listed with a red error box. These errors will need to be reconciled before processing and closing your transaction. As you can see, the check that we scanned has an error. We did this purposely so we could show you exactly what needs to be reconciled. If an error with one of your checks has occurred, to reconcile that error, click on the check in error. To the right in the information box, it will state what that error is. In our case, we need an account number. To the left, in the account number field, you will type in that account number. Once you have typed in that account number, press enter. This will update the information for the check. As you can see, it went from an error to a success. However, there is still one error that hasn't been addressed. The deposit is not in balance. The check amount does not reflect the same as the deposit amount. On the left-hand side, I will change the amount in the amount field to $9. Now the deposit is balanced and ready to be closed. Let's complete this deposit by clicking Close Transaction in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. At the Close Transaction field, you have 3 choices. You must choose one of these options. If you choose Defer, the transaction will be held as an existing deposit. If you choose Release, the transactions will be transmitted to the central site, meaning this will be deposited into your account. And then finally, Delete. The entire transaction will be deleted. Let's click Release, then press OK. You've now completed your deposit. You will now be brought to your Transmission Items screen. Once you've reached the Transmission Items landing page, you will see each deposit that you've created. It will show its status, the description, the amount, the processing date, etc. If you have multiple deposits to be transmitted, you can click on each one of those individually. And to the right, if you click on View Images, you will then open up a detailed report showing you what that deposit is consisting of. It will show you the location it originated from, the account number it's depositing into, the date it was processed, and the amount. If you scroll further down, you will see the deposit slip you created and the checks that you scanned in. You could also save or print this report and place this with the scanned checks that you did earlier. There is still just one more step to complete this deposit. In the bottom right-hand corner of your transmission items, you must click Transmit. This will send the deposit to the bank for processing. There are other options other than Transmit. You can delete your deposit. If you feel the deposit was incorrect or done in error, you can press delete and it will remove the deposit completely. However, if you choose to delete your deposit, you will then need to start from the beginning again by creating a new deposit slip and scanning your checks. Once your deposit has been transmitted and the bank has processed your deposit, you will have access to view the report of that deposit. On the right-hand side, under View Images, you can click on View Report. This will bring up the deposit detail report. This report shows all the information for your deposit and how it was processed. There is one more additional tab listed on your transmission items landing page. This tab is called Daily Deposit Limits. If we click on this tab, it will bring you to the Daily Deposit Limit page. Here, it will list out all the accounts that you deposit into. It will show your daily total, your daily limit, your monthly total, and your monthly limit. This information is very helpful if you ever need to make an adjustment to your limit. This concludes part 2 of our 3-part series of Merchant Capture. Please join us for part 3 of our Merchant Capture series, where we will be going over our Analytics tab. This will review reports, exporting information, and researching information. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.